let's stay a little bit off the beaten path because I love these type of discussions. And I'm sure you've had this happen, Wes, to you so many different times where somebody's like, hey, Wes, can you go ahead and I'll Venmo you $20. Can you put in this wager for me, sir, since you're in the great state of Nevada? Where do you stand on that? Because I've had some people do that, and some of my buddies, and then they'll Venmo me the money if they lose, what have you. But then you might get in those dicey situations like, man, I'm not the bookmaker. I don't want to take all the action, but different states across the country, you can do things in certain states that you can't in others. Where do you stand on that where somebody be like, hey, Wes, you place this for me?
I get asked that all the time, to be honest with you, especially from folks that don't have betting in their jurisdictions.
So you understand,
like,
right?
Hey, can you bet? And it's usually like a future. It's usually like a Super Bowl future. Hey, put $50 or $100 on this golfer to win the Masters or the U.S. Open, or, somebody wants to bet like a college basketball future and whatnot. So that's what I usually get. So look, I'm willing to do that. And look, it depends on the amount of number, but just on the basis of a culture, I am a proponent of tipping culture.
Oh.
I don't care how much it is. I don't care if it's a $50 bet or a $500 bet or $5,000 or $50,000. You do tip. I think that you tip your ticket writer. And I know some people are like, well, all they did, I gave them the information. All they did was print out the ticket. This is a service business out here in Las Vegas, guys. And these writers, that is a very thankless job, especially if you're doing it at the counter with a ticket writer. Being a ticket writer can be a very thankless job. And you work a lot of long hours, especially like on big event weekends, like Super Bowl weekend or the NCAA tournament or something like that, or any NFL weekend for that matter. And you're working long hours. You're working weekends, Saturday, Sunday. You're working back-to-back 10, 12-plus hour shifts. You absolutely tip them. So, yeah, I would tip somebody if they took the time to place the bet for me. It depends on how big it is. Obviously, if it's only $100 or maybe they buy you a beer or something, and that pretty much covers it. But, yeah, I think you absolutely should tip. If you're taking the time to place a bet for somebody, they should absolutely give you a little something.
I hope you're listening, America. So anytime you ask us to place one, we win it for you. Go ahead and throw us a little something. Hey, but it is nice because we saw that this week where we had a couple people tweet at us and say, I want to buy you guys a beer next time for the information we gave out on Justin Thomas. As we kept saying, he was a viable play, 20-1, maybe to get back in there. And some people did hop in there, and now they're kind enough. They're like, hey, we want to buy you a beer next time we're at Circus. So do those niceties, if you will, for the people out there.
And that's one thing that will set me off, and I don't get set off by much. But when I see people not getting tipped, it's like, what are you doing here? You always tip, especially here in Las Vegas, and you're expected to do so because they're providing you services.
No doubt.
So, you absolutely, I always say, tip your ticket writers. I don't care if you won $20, leave $1 or leave $2. I'm not asking you to leave 30, 40% of what you won here, but like if you bet 110 to win 100 and you win $100, leave the juice, leave the $10 for the ticket writers.
I think it's very good. And again, it's good karma, I think, too. Because, we talk about superstition and gambling all the time, right? So, like, I don't know if you believe in mushes or if you want to fade people that are ice cold, but sometimes karma does come around. So we're not saying that's the way you're going to win or lose your wagers.
Be very careful doing that, though. I mean, do your own handicapping. I mean, sometimes you could play a little bit of handicap the handicapper if somebody's good. Listen to everyone, but follow no one, is what a wise man once told me. So don't try to do that too much in terms of, okay, this guy's cold, so I can fade him because he's one day away from all of a sudden burning you and getting hot.
Right.
So you never know.
The day I went against him, he goes 5-0.
Yes.
So, again, do your own handicapping, too. Use all the information to make your best determinations. Great advice from Wes Reynolds.